AI can write essays, emails, and even marketing campaigns. So it should be able to write your resume, right? Not exactly. If you're an experienced professional or executive using AI to create your resume and wondering why interviews aren't happening, this video is for you. Today, I'm going to explain why AI generated resumes often fail experienced professionals, the major blind spots AI can't fix, even if you give it perfect prompts, and why working with a professional resume writer dramatically increases your interview traction. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what's missing from most AI resumes and how to fix it. Number one, AI cannot extract what's inside your brain. AI can only reorganize what you feed it. It can't uncover, probe, or strategically surface your most impressive career accomplishments. I know that there are a lot of AI tools out there promising to write your resume and promising to make it easy and format it perfectly. Those tools are very debatable, and they might, keyword might, be helpful for entry level professionals, recent grads. Most of our clients are experienced professionals and executives, and the honest truth is these AI resumes just completely miss the mark. One reason why is because AI doesn't interview you. It doesn't ask the right follow-up questions like, how big was that team? What changed because of your leadership? What was the revenue impact? It doesn't dig into the nuance. It can't detect the experiences that are strategically differentiated versus what's routine and daily. And that's a problem because executives and professionals often undersell themselves, even in the documents that they're providing for AI to rewrite or enhance. High performers, they usually normalize big wins. So they think, I was just doing my job. It wasn't that hard for me. Those sorts of things. They discount their value. A professional resume writer probes for scope, scale, budget oversight, transformation metrics, change management, leadership impacts that you might have had. AI doesn't challenge you to think deeper. If you want my insights on resume tweaks and positioning, download our free Smart Job Seekers Guide linked below. AI, it rewrites, but it doesn't strategize. It refreezes job descriptions. It improves grammar. It enhances your wording, but it doesn't clarify your positioning, identify a target role, align your narrative and executive branding. AI, it just doesn't understand context. So it can't interpret political complexity that you might have experienced at work, cross-functional influence that you had in your role, stakeholder dynamics. It can't differentiate between tactical management and strategic leadership. One other thing that I see all the time is that AI often adds in extra things that aren't in the right context and maybe that aren't even true for you. And this problem becomes even more amplified the longer and more complex your career is. Number two, AI struggles with complex, long executive careers. The more senior you are, the more strategic your resume needs to be. And AI is not built for strategic compression. Executive careers, careers for experienced professionals, not at the executive level, they're generally not linear. There might have been lateral moves. There might have been global assignments or reassignments. There might have been a merger and an acquisition integration that happened. There might have been board influence. Maybe you've done advisory work. AI does not know how to prioritize and what to prioritize when it comes to your resume. AI often creates these really long or generic resumes. So a lot of times it's going to feed back what you give it. And I've seen it give people 3 to 5 pages of dense content with repetitive leadership language, fluffy adjectives, and it really doesn't have a punch. It doesn't have that level of brevity that experienced and senior professionals need. They need precision. They need a signal, right, over just noise. They need strategic positioning that sets them apart from all the other candidates. Another issue was that AI cannot distill 20 years into a strategic narrative. It doesn't know what should be highlighted, what should be minimized, what should be removed entirely. It can't necessarily align content to like an executive VP role or a C-suite role or director level transitions or your level of board readiness. It doesn't understand any of those things. It lacks market intelligence. So it doesn't interpret fully what hiring managers are tired of seeing. One thing that people don't know is that ATS or applicant tracking systems, they can now tell recruiters if a resume was generated by AI. So it might say with 95% certainty, we think this resume was written by AI. That doesn't make the right impression for experienced and senior professionals. Highly competitive roles, most recruiters are going to prefer someone whose resume doesn't scream, this was written by AI. It also doesn't understand what executive recruiters are scanning for. And I generally tell people that your average recruiter is only giving a resume a 5 to 10 second glance. So the AI doesn't really know on a human level, on a psychological level, what to highlight, what to minimize, what to leave off. It also doesn't really understand what differentiates a strategic leader from an operational manager. And that perhaps is a connection and something that you are trying to really highlight in your own resume. And this leads us to the third major issue, which is positioning. AI doesn't build strategic positioning. It builds documents. Interviews are generated by compelling positioning, not formatting. AI doesn't clarify your target. So a lot of people use phrases like open to opportunities. Those types of resumes don't convert well. AI also doesn't push you to define things like your target industry, your target function or departments, or your target level within an organization, and then customize your resume based on those things. It doesn't craft a leadership brand for you. So there generally isn't like a cohesive brand statement, which is really important as an experienced professional or an executive. Also, AI generally doesn't provide a future-focused or a forward-looking positioning, thinking about your next role, your next level up. And then most of the time, there's no differentiation in that narrative. So it sounds like it could be any VP of sales, not necessarily the VP of sales that you were, or it could have been any operations manager, not the operations manager that you were. On the other hand, professional resume writers identify your leadership value proposition and they translate it into recruiter-facing language because they understand the trends. We've written thousands of resumes in the last 13 years, so we understand those kinds of things. Professional writers, they also align your resume with your LinkedIn profile and your interview narrative. So it is all one kind of cohesive presentation that you're putting out there. And also doesn't think like a recruiter. So as I mentioned before, recruiters, they're scanning your resume in seconds. So AI does not optimize your resume for eye flow or movement on a page. It doesn't understand strategic bullet positioning or sequencing. It doesn't really understand the achievement density or how many achievements should be in your resume. And then it doesn't really set the tone very well. And tone is very important at the executive level and also for experienced professionals. You want to come off as though this is not your first rodeo. This isn't your first time trying this job. Actually, you are the safest and most compelling hire. And AI misses the mark with creating that tone. AI also doesn't challenge your story. In contrast, a professional resume writer, they might push back and they're going to ask you deeper questions. They might help you remember results that you forgot. They might help you see your career just at a higher level and altitude than you currently do. I want to talk about a few more benefits of working with a professional resume writer. And I think part of the value is that you are positioned very clearly when you work with a professional resume writer. The first aspect to that is they're strategic with your career positioning. So they're going to get clear around your target roles and then alignment with the current market expectations, which is very important, especially in today's job market. And then the narrative structure that you're trying to build, which is super important for experienced professionals and executives. Most professional resume writers, I know we do this, is we do a deep dive discovery process. So we have questionnaires, we have a structured kind of interview that is an initial consultation with our clients where we are extracting things that might not be on your resume that you forgot about, that you don't think are important, that actually are. And then also helping you to quantify your contributions, your achievements, accomplishments, key initiatives that you are a part of. Also, professional resume writers, they have market and recruiter insight. So they have an understanding of the trends and what hiring managers are actually looking for. Professional resume writers can also help with calibrating your tone, right? And making sure that the tone is correct. One of the top critiques that I provide to executives when I look at their resume is I tell them that we can help enhance your level of executive positioning. Their resume sounds like it was written for someone who was a manager. And then also, as a professional resume writer, they can help you with pulling out what your competitive differences are. I call these points of distinction and highlighting those in your resume. Also, professional resume writers can help you with increasing your level of confidence. So you get to understand your value more clearly once you've gone through a process like the one I just described. And then as a result, interviews improve because your ability to articulate all of this value that we've laid out improves. One, you can see it directly on the page. Two, a good professional resume writer has things highlighted in specific ways to where you can easily find them on a resume. So they're easy talking points for you in an interview. As a result, your resume is going to become a strategic asset, not just a document. So AI is a tool, but it's not a strategist. It can rewrite sentences, but it cannot extract your brilliance. It cannot compress 20 years of leadership into a compelling executive narrative. And it can't position you in a competitive market like the one we're in today. If you're an experienced professional or executive and interviews aren't happening, the issue may not be your qualifications. It may be your positioning. If you want help crafting a resume that truly reflects your leadership impact, we'd love to support you. So check out the link below. Have you tried using AI to write your resume? What was your experience? Tell me about it in the comments.